Well, hopefully everything's working. Okay, it's not working. Lovely. Oh. Oh, this is a pain. I wonder if I have it wired backwards. Okay, no, it was wired the correct way around the first time. Man, how did I do this last time? Oh no, I can't see the freaking EVC window. No, it was 44. Okay, so address 44, and then should be able to set the core voltage. And it didn't. Why? How is... Dude, this is so freaking stupid. This is why analog voltage controllers are best. Because you don't need to rely on digital things to work. I don't get it. Why is it not working? Like, this is definitely the thing I used last time, so like... (8318) address 44 add okay, I did have it in gamer mode. Well, that didn't do anything again. Why isn't it working? Now I really wish this was a UP9511. Oh. Why is the pinout like that? Okay, well, now it's working. Yeah, why the hell is the pinout like that? Anyway, I should now be able to set voltage. There we go, I can change voltage. Progress. Anyway, we're gonna set it back to 1.3. Actually, it was above 1.3, but yeah, we're gonna set it back to 1.3. And I guess we're just gonna do a baseline run initially at 1.3. I don't remember what this clocked to, but we do have some profiles. Okay, this is probably the maxed out profile for this card, or at least like close to max out. Thanks, Benjamin, for the €10. Okay, how are we doing on temperatures? GPU's at 36, and the K-type is at 30, apparently. Oh, wait, no, I set it to max. GPU's at, like, 32. K-type's at 29. The thing is, we are sitting at a really high idle voltage, so I am not sure what the temperature delta is supposed to be, but I'm gonna go with that. That looks fine. That doesn't look super far apart. Also, I am not... I don't like the... Like, this is the Kingpin Tech 9 pot, and it's still on the Kingpin probe. I don't like the Kingpin probes. They're gigantic and annoying. But I didn't feel like... yeah, I didn't feel like swapping the probe out, so we're just gonna run with this one. Because the thing is, I have some, like, small, really fine, like, K-types that are nice in terms of, like, wiring management and stuff, but, I'm not sure if I have enough of the, like, I've already, like, I've already used 3 of those on the other LN2 pots I have, and I don't know if I have a 5th, because I do sometimes use them for non-LN2 things. And so, yeah, this probe is, like, completely not viable for non-LN2 overclocking stuff. So, anyway, let's check what kind of clocks this is hitting. 1538, 2100 mem. 2100 mem I'm not too sure about, so we're gonna go 659. I'll just hit it with Fire Strike and see how it goes. Why am I using a 13900 KS for this? Because it boosts the GPU score. I actually might do a video comparing, like, the differences in, like, various 3D marks with, like, 7950X versus 13900 KS. The funny thing is the 13900 KS will also be tested with, like, with and without the E-cores, because they do actually drag down the GPU score in a bunch of benchmarks, which is kind of weird. Like, you really wouldn't expect them to affect the GPU score on, say, a GTX 960, because it's like, it's a GTX 960. How could it possibly get CPU bottlenecked? Well, if you turn the E-cores on, it gets more CPU bottlenecked. It's like, that's like the funny thing with pushing a lot of, like, benchmarks to their absolute limits, is just, even things where it's like, there's no way that's a bottleneck, is like, no, actually it is. X87 chipset doesn't affect the memory clocks. The I/O die seems to have gotten some revisions, which should be interesting. We might have better memory topologies, but I wonder about that. There's a decent chance I might actually finish off the first of my 2 doers with this GPU, because I kind of suspect it's going to pull way more power than the GTX 960 did. 6800 max? I don't know. Don't the, like, freaking Epic CPUs run like 7200 1-to-1? So if they just took whatever improvements the I/O die for Epic has and put that onto the Ryzen I/O die, then, like, we'd be running similar memory clocks. Like, that's kind of the funny thing, is the Ryzen I/O die is actually not very good compared to Threadripper in terms of memory support. Okay, so I think we will start with Fire Strike, but the benchmark I'm more interested in is actually Vantage. Oh man, Fire Strike is going to be so hard. Man, yeah, because that's Shaggy SVK has the record for Vantage, and I mean for Fire Strike, and he ran 2.1 gigahertz core. Yeah, okay, that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be really, really rough. Well, my card has more cap set than his card, but yeah, I am not sure. Okay, temperatures seem reasonable, so we'll go down. Also, apparently with 900 series, the newer drivers can cold bug, though I didn't run into that with the 960, so I don't know. Maybe I found a driver that doesn't do it, or the 960 is just lucky, so guess we'll find out. I think, okay, so because Fire Strike is so, like, hard, I think I'll start with Vantage. Because, yeah, the top frequency people ran for Vantage is, like, 1800, not even 1800. And with liquid nitrogen, that should be pretty easy to run 1800 for Vantage. It's just a really long benchmark. And then 3D Mark 11 was run at 1850. So yeah, I'm thinking like I can take Vantage and 3D 11 I think is going to be easier than Fire Strike because that Fire Strike score is that's nuts. 2.1 gigahertz is like about as high as 900 series will easily go. And any more than that requires some serious effort. And this LN2 pod is not good at cooling down. It annoys me. It's so slow. Why would you be OCing a 900 series card? Because there's a bunch of high scores for the 900 series. Like it's basically like car restricted racing, where it's like everybody I think there's like classes like everybody drives a Miata is a pretty popular one. Right. Oh, you guys can't see the minus sign there. So we're at -5 now. I'm going to take it down to -50 as like the first stopping point, and then from -50 we're probably going to go pretty quickly to -100. I hate traveling. Like, a lot. And actually going to the US for... Like, I've never been to the US. So... And as far as I know, that tends to be pretty difficult. What? No, that's Celsius. Why would you measure anything in Fahrenheit? What do you think about the new Ryzen 9000 series? They look interesting, but like you can't buy it yet, so like I don't know, is like, and I've not tested it, so you know, kind of hard to have an opinion. The IF finally got a bump in performance? I don't know. I'd hope so, but looking at some of the gaming benchmarks, I kind of doubt that there's been much of an uplift in terms of actual like memory bandwidth, because like they had a Far Cry 6 benchmark which was like plus 10%, and Far Cry 6 should be very memory sensitive, and so plus 10% in Far Cry 6 is like... That honestly, like, if the IPC is up 16%, which admittedly that's like an average improvement, and then you have a game like Far Cry 6 only going up by 10%, that looks like it's still memory bottlenecked. Yeah, 3D Mark 11 Fizz, but the thing is with 3D Mark 11 Fizz, I don't know if that's 3D Mark 11 Physics Time Spy or if that's Fire Strike. Right, if it's Time Spy, then that's like, that actually well, the thing is, like, you can still have an uplift if, like, because like CPUs are ultimately always memory bottlenecked, right? So all of the improvements to the architecture, like, oh, better branch predictor, better caches, better all of this, like, that's all just to hide the fact that RAM sucks, right? So when you see something like, oh yeah, it's like X% better, so basically all performance uplifts in CPUs for like years and years and years have been in spite of the memory bottleneck. Because the cores have been faster than the RAM for, like, decades. Okay, we're almost at minus, yeah, so I think we're gonna try a run at like 1600, and I guess maybe I should switch. Wait, is Vantage or 3D Mark 11 faster to run? I think 3D 11's faster. Any more music suggestions in terms of like music that sounds similar to what I produce? I, and I guess No Oath is kind of similar. I'll drop links. Give me a second. Damn it. That, and also this. Man, I do not like the Kingpin pots, like, at all. Especially not this one. It's, like, there's so much nitrogen in it, and the temperature still keeps going up. Like, they just don't hold temperature properly, in my opinion. Like, I much prefer the Raptor 4, where you basically run it empty, because if it's full, it'll basically overpower, like, a few 100-watt GPUs. Whereas this, you can fill it all the way to the top, and it just temperature go up. On what I'm guessing is like a 200-watt heat load right now. Yeah, the thing with the KP, especially the older KP pots, is they have like no surface area. So they really aren't very, they are really, really slow. Nah, it's not really waste of liquid nitrogen, it's just like annoying in terms of temperature control. Because, like, basically, if you're not at, like, full pot, in my opinion, the LN2 pot should be designed to burn the liquid nitrogen basically as quickly as you pour it in. So that you just immediately convert all of the, like, potential cooling into temperature instead of... this behavior. Okay, well, let's see that first score. I imagine it's going to be horrendous. It kind of is. Yeah, so the target is 23,000 points. And the target has a way better physics score, but there's not really anything I can do about that. Combined is actually similar, so... Just trying to build up a frost layer on the inside, because that, like, that breaks up the lead and frost effect. You can also break up the lead and frost with geometry, but yeah, KP pots don't really go with particularly fancy geometry, so this is the only option. What's also really annoying with this is even when you build up the frost layer, because the inside is, like, very glossy in terms of, like, finish, the frost doesn't stick. So it just, like, eventually, like, a lot of the time it'll just get washed off by the LN2, which is just... And so you might be wondering, well, BuildZoid, why aren't you using the Raptor then, if the Raptor's so much better? It doesn't fit. In fact, even this barely fits. Like, the capacitors from the power board are actually touching the side of the LN2 pot. The polymers are. And the Raptor 4 just doesn't, like, clear at all. I think the Raptor 4 wouldn't even clear if I moved the capacitors. Yay, it's a bit faster now. Yeah, but you can see how it, like, washed off. Like, this end still has ice on it, but the middle is, like, washing out already. Okay, well, we're finally at minus 50. And I bumped the core voltage, so I think we might be able to run 1700. Actually, 1700 should be really easy. Also, 3D Mark 11, if I'm not mistaken, has an issue where you have to, like, reopen it in order for it to work. Okay, 1707. We might be able to run more than that. Yeah, let's try 1731. There's like a UI bug with 3D Mark 11. Okay, so we finally got the, like, temperature rollover. We're at minus 220 on it. on the like GPU temp sensor, and the concern is basically if the temp sensor bugs out in the wrong way, the GPU won't work. So hopefully we won't run into that. Yeah, like, how much the temperature swings between the loading screens and the actual workload is just really disappointing. Like, when you have LN2 pots that you basically run empty, like, say, the Raptor, then, like, that doesn't really happen because you don't have a bunch of, like, liquid nitrogen still sitting in the pot after the load finishes. Like, the Raptor still does it a little, because ultimately it's, like, a lot of the mass is still pretty far away from the GPU, but, like... You can, like, I run the Raptor basically empty. If I'm not, like, not aiming for full pot. Which, I've never actually managed to full pot the Raptor, I don't think. No, I think there's some low power old GPUs that I've managed it with. But, like, I tried using it on a 1080 Ti, and it would just, like, I kept breaking the thermal paste. Like, minus 120. Which was super annoying. You know, honestly, I'm kind of tempted to try solder in some, like, anything, like some kind of structure, so that, like, it breaks up the lead and frost effect better. Because, like, just, like, little sharp, pokey bits of copper would do, like, that actually works really well for reducing the lead and frost effect. Solid score in terms of like performance uplift. Actually, I think at this point we're not far from me being able to just take the Vantage record. So let's switch over to Vantage, because I'm actually more... Like, Vantage I'm less worried about, because it shouldn't be as affected by the fact that I haven't figured out how to get a good CPU score out of the 13900K like, consistently. Wait, I might need to change... LODs, because I think right now we're on, yeah, we're just on +3, and I think for Vantage, higher values might work. I can't imagine running this LN2 pod on a 980 Ti. That would suck so bad. Because 980 Ti's are, like, incredibly power hungry on liquid nitrogen. And this thing is just, like, not very quick. You know what? I'm gonna actually just run Vantage at higher clocks than what the current record is at. What? Wait, does this card cold bug? Yeah, it sure looks like it might be cold bugging. Yeah, everything that's like... Yeah, I might have to downgrade drivers. Okay, what driver version did Shaggy use? He used 375, really? I might just try to restart at a lower temperature, see. Because basically the problem is that when the temperature bugs out, the driver like freaks out and then stuff breaks. That's at least my like theoretical understanding of it. But the thing is, the GTX 960 didn't have any issues on this driver, even down to like minus 100, so... I'm gonna try reboot at like minus 65 and see what happens. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to downgrade the drivers. Thing is, with like say 10 series, you can get some cards where they have like a temperature range where they don't work, and then they do work at very, very low temperatures, but I don't think 900 series works the same way. Yeah, like the driver actually just didn't initialize. Yep, we got like the GPU just didn't start. That is some really unique artifacting. I've not seen that before. No, maybe I'll try a different display output. Issue is, I desoldered the DVI ports to make space for the e-power, so if this doesn't work on the display port, yeah, this, well, hopefully a driver downgrade fixes it. Yeah, looks like the GPU driver just gave up. Cool, so we're going to be reinstalling GPU drivers at minus 50. Also, I should probably move the hairdryer to a different power strip. Nah, it'll be fine. Well, time to go get an NVIDIA 375 driver. Yeah, 37570. And I sure hope that's all that's necessary, because if it also needs like an analog, but 900 series doesn't have analog out, so that doesn't make any sense. Right? Because like the DVI ports are all digital on 900 series, as far as I know. Rename the driver version to 900 CD for 900 series cold bug. A minus 40. Well, this is already way more eventful than the GTX 960 was. Oh, first things first, we need to run DDU. Which I hopefully have. Where DDU? I do not see... Oh, there it is. What? No, launch anyway. I don't give a damn. .900 series are the last cards with VGA. Oh no. I can't run VGA into a capture card, so if it needs analog, then this is screwed. Why is it taking so long? I guess that explains why all the... I guess that explains why all the GTX 970 scores are, like, not that high. Because, yeah, there's, like, tons and tons of scores that are, like, 1700 to 1800 on the core, which is, like, not really that, you know. It's not really that fast. For a 900 series. So this is the version, yeah, I don't want no GeForce experience. Or 3D vision. Man, I sure hope this fixes everything, because if it doesn't, it's going to be a very short stream. I mean, I guess I could still try take Vantage at -50, but... After the 960, I was really hoping this would be easy. Because the 960 was relatively easy, it just kind of worked. Go. And we can see. I guess the dumbest test I can do right now. I mean, I guess we should restart after installing the drivers. So let's do that first. Let's restart the system, and then I'm gonna do just like run GPU-Z render test and pull it down to minus 60 and see if it crashes out again. If it does, I'm gonna have a big problem. So I'm gonna need to put a analog DVI port back on the card somehow. And I won't be able to like stream it if it needs analog output to work. Okay, it's the lower port, so I don't have to reinstall the entire tall assembly. I can just use a short one. Yeah, so that won't be too bad in terms of the soldering required. Can a loose feeling capacitor cause problems? No, not really. Like, I'm assuming if it's a through-hole capacitor, it could almost certainly entirely fall off the board and the board would be fine. Does NVIDIA driver change VBIOS settings? As far as I know, no. Because, like, anything NVIDIA wants to change using the driver, they can do at the driver level. Like, the BIOS is red when the card starts up, and then and then unless you use some software to flash it or check what's on the BIOS chip, like, there's no reason to use read the BIOS ever again. I would imagine that NVIDIA probably has the ability to, like, the BIOS chip is only really needed for the initialization of the card, and after the card is running, the BIOS, like, you could literally take the BIOS chip off once the card is in Windows. And the card would still work. You might also need the BIOS chip in place for the driver to... Actually, no, I think the driver would probably start even if there wasn't a BIOS chip. It's just the very first startup, you need a BIOS chip. So, I mean, like, NVIDIA could change things in the BIOS chip, but there's, like, no reason to. Run 2000? Well, so far I haven't been able to get this thing below minus 60, so... We'll see. So that's what we're testing right now, is can I get below minus 60? Because if I can't get below minus 60, then there's no way it's doing 2 gigahertz. I think Shaggy in the last stream with the GTX 960, he said that like you have to use like an older driver version so that the temperature doesn't bug out, which I guess makes sense. We'll see. Like, I ended up just, like, copying the driver version that Shaggy used for his 2.1 gigahertz run, and I'm hoping that, like, fixes it. Because at minus 60, the card just sort of, like, stops carding. I don't have another 970. I am currently, I've done something stupid. So, for the 900 series, Gigabyte low-key made some really nice PCBs. And maybe one of them showed up on UK eBay recently. At maybe not a very sensible price. And I might be kinda already, like, hoping to win it. I mean, the other option is you try analog, but I don't have an analog connector on the card at this point. I guess the last thing to try would be to, like, juice the PLL rail, but I don't have PLL voltage control on this card right now. Working GTX 970. It's an extreme gaming. It's like it's 10-phase 60, I think it's, yeah, 10-phase 60 amp power stages for V-Core with so many SMD aluminum polymers. Like, it's like better than the reference 980 Ti VRM. By a lot. Like, a lot better than the reference 980 Ti VRM. No, not G1 gaming. There's extreme gaming. The G1 gaming cards are pretty normy, but and then there's the extreme gaming ones. That's why I said low-key, because everybody knows about the G1 gaming cards, because those were, like, relatively cheap and very popular, and the heatsink was good. But the reason those were cheap is because the PCB is basically reference. Actually, it's in some ways somewhat worse. And then there's the extreme gaming cards, which were basically the Gigabyte alternative to a Matrix or a Lightning or a Kingpin edition. And those do not get much attention. Like, let me just, I'll pull it up while we're waiting. It's kind of a pain because that PCB is actually, like, annoying to even find. Like pictures of it. Oh, there we go. Yeah. This. Now, the memory VRM on this is actually really bad. It's very common to find 900 series Gigabyte cards where the memory VRM blew up, and it's basically this memory VRM. But yeah, like look at all those SP caps, and there's a row of them exactly like this also on the back of the card, which of course this review site did not bother to take a picture of the back of the card, because why would you take a look at the back of the card? Nothing important ever goes on the back of the card. Oh no, this one has Elpida. Actually, Elpida might not be the worst. The thing is, I have like a bunch of dead 970s, EVGA ones with Samsung memory chips, so like if the card I get has like Hynix, then I'll probably just end up I'll actually try swapping memory chips. To Samsung. Yeah, and the thing is, Gigabyte Extreme Gaming cards, for the entire 900 series are actually really nice. But yeah, you don't really hear them, like, you don't really see people benching them. You don't really see people talk, like, yeah, it's not a thing. Like, everybody knows the G1 gaming cards, which are just like, whatever. Like, I'll try pull up a comparison. Oh, yeah, I guess the 980 Ti G1 gaming is the best. Even the 980. Okay, so... Yeah, the 980... Well, the 980 G1 gaming isn't too bad, but it's not anything particularly fancy. Man, this thing's... I'm not doing a very good job of getting to minus 60. Not super... I don't really care. I mean, maybe Cam 2 will help with the instability, and that would be nice. So the thing is, right now the GPU is technically under load, so it can go lower temperatures than if I stop the render test. So I want to see if we can get it, like if it'll still run at like minus 80 or something now. And then of course if I stop the render test and the whole system freezes up, then this isn't gonna work. Still working, though. Minus 70. So maybe the driver fixed it. That would be nice. Pause caps are round tall ones. SP caps. I don't know why pause caps are so popular. SP caps are best. That's why all the high-end GPUs use SP caps. Have you, like... When GDDR die is best? Depends on the generation of GPU. Like, late production for GDDR5 Micron seems to be absolutely beast in terms of the speeds it can hit. Like, I've seen Micron GDDR5 doing, like, 2300 plus, which is insane. Because the chips are binned for, I think, 2 gigahertz, and you can run them at 2.3. Also, it looks like Shaggy's driver version does fix the cold bug for me. And then I stop the render test and the whole thing just, like, black screens. My shower's 8 kilowatt. Not 3 kilowatt. I mean, I don't run it at 8 kilowatts, but yeah, if you electric showers are, like, very, very power hungry. Because water is very hard to change the temperature of, which is why it's such a good coolant. Okay, so we're at minus 80. I think the driver actually fixed it. Yeah, it looks like the driver fixed it. It restarts. Clocks are good. Everything's good. Okay, looks like we have a fix. I can bench. So unfortunately, we're not going to get to look at the sidetracks of like the intricacies of Gigabyte G1 versus extreme gaming PCBs. Anyway, I want my, wait, is my scaling all messed up because Windows is just dumb? Yeah. No, it's at 100. Okay. Wait, maybe I should have set the resolution to 1080p then. Because is Afterburner gonna fit? Yeah, I guess it fits. Wait. I need to set the voltage first. Go to 1.42. And then we're gonna do... Okay, not that much, but maybe like... I don't remember what the clock... I hate clock offsets, man. It's so stupid, because it's like you have to run the render test just to figure out what frequency. Okay, that's about apparently too much. Did it? It just broke again. Are you kidding me? We're stuck at 539. What even is that? Man, apparently 970s are cursed. I was doing 1700 at like 1.4 and minus 50. For 3D11. Oh, it's broken again. Dude, what the hell? Does ThermSpy work on 900 series? I mean, maybe it's the memory clock, because I am pushing that kind of high, but... Oh, and we're back stuck at 539. Dude... I don't know if this will work. I've never tried using this, but let's see. Because we're, like, stuck in P2, apparently. Yeah. Like, P0 is broken, so, like... Maybe link speed might affect it as well? So that's a thing on, like, AMD GPUs. That, like, PCIe 3.0 doesn't work at low temperatures. So I have to run them at PCIe 2. Well, that seems to be working. I mean, it's reporting that the clock is going up. I don't know how much I believe that the clock is going up. Right, now we're at 1538. Wait. So if I go to P2 and just set P2 to, like, max, that works. And then smash... Oh, wait, that doesn't go any... No, wait. Oh, P2 mem clocks apparently, I guess, don't matter. So we just use that for maxing out the... I'm starting to hate the GTX 970, man. This is such a mess. Mem clock no go up. Oh no, the UI for... Okay, and V-Inspector is like... broken. Just continue, man. No. Oh no, everything is broken. Dude, man, freaking NVIDIA cards. Okay, so I can raise core clock, but like memory clock is broken now. Ugh. Like, it's evidently something related to power management. I'm not sure what to do about it, though. I mean, it's nice that the card at least is, like, functioning now. Actually, you know what, I might... no, we're gonna do manage 3D settings. I'm gonna go prefer max performance. Apply, and then we're just gonna restart. Yeah, the VRM's plenty warm. The memory chips might have a problem with the cold, but this doesn't really look like memory chips getting too cold. This just looks like broken something. I don't even know what. I guess maybe raising the PLL voltage might help. But I don't have PLL voltage control right now, so that's not an option. Okay, that seems to have worked. So maybe having, like, the idle just completely breaks things? Oh, I set the core clock way too high last time. Because this is 1683 already at plus 279. At 1720. Should be able to run like over 600 mem quite easily. Goody. So yeah, we're gonna go for a Vantage run with this. At -7. I'm gonna go for -80. Like, it's no good just faffing about at -50 because, like, that's the temperature that it works at if, like, the goal is to do 2 gigahertz or something, right? It's just actually a waste of time being like, oh, well, it works at -50, and it's like, yeah, but you're not doing 2 gigahertz at -50, so what are you doing? Wait, I don't have LOD. Play mode. All. Yeah, whatever. We'll just punch in some arbitrarily high value and see how that goes. Might be good, might be bad. Who knows? We'll see, I guess. I like Vantage better because I'm bad at 3D11. Like, I've never gotten a particularly good 3D Mark 11 physics score. Even on, like, systems that, like, Windows 7 was standard, right? Because everybody's always like, oh, if you're on modern hardware, you still need to use Windows 7. And it's like, yeah, but my 3D Mark 11 was bad even when Windows 7 was the default. Whereas Vantage, I mean, I don't know how to run Vantage properly on 13th gen, but, like... And I do kind of like that it's not a bunch of, like, different... Like, it doesn't switch through a bunch of different tests, so... It's like long Firestrike. Vantage feels more like long Firestrike, whereas 3D Mark 11 has, like, 4 different GPU tests. Which, like, isn't a bad thing. But I kind of prefer the, like, long Firestrike of, like, oh, it's more of a stability test as well. Though 3D11 has, like, some pretty high power draw peaks. So, yeah. I'm not sure why I like Vantage, because I usually hate really long benchmarks, but, like, Vantage is, like, fun to watch, I guess. Like, I like the space scene, and the water is fun to watch. So... Whereas 3D11 is just a bunch of fucking jungle. Isn't it? Yeah, you get like some submarines, some coral, and it's like, eh. Like, the water in 3D, in Vantage looks good even at, like, LOD infinity, so... The people don't. And also, Vantage is interesting to me in that, like, this first test is super CPU bottlenecked for parts of it. And even the second one. And it's not even in the parts where you would... It's not when it hits, like, thousands of FPS. It's bottlenecked at the, like, low points, usually. which is really interesting because usually you think it's like, oh, it's CPU bottlenecked when the frame rate tries to go over like several thousand, but Vantage isn't like that. Like, this scene right here, actually, no, it's not this, but, like, the start of the first test, I think, because I'm looking at, yeah, there's, like, moments on the oscilloscope where you can see the, like, waveform spread out, and that's usually indicative as a CPU bottleneck. The funny thing is, I think Vantage actually scores okay, even on AMD CPUs. Like, more so than Firestrike. Like, Firestrike on a 7950X, like, this is super CPU bottlenecked right now. I think. Like, looking at that, I'm pretty sure that was, like, a massive CPU bottleneck right there. Yeah, even, like, the temperature, like, this second test is, like, weirdly CPU heavy. Or the GPU is stuck at, like, low power state now. But I don't think so. The oscilloscope waveform doesn't look like low power state. Vantage doesn't care. Yeah, whereas Firestrike, if you run Firestrike on a 7950X, it hurts. It really hurts. If you turn the E-cores on, it hurts. Like, the GTX 960, if I turn the E-cores on, loses like 300 points of GPU score in Firestrike, which is like insane. And then the 7950X is like another couple hundred points below that. So I actually really want to, I actually want to kind of do a video just like testing, like choose a few different cards, and I want them to be like I want some really old ones and some really new ones. Because the thing is like most people would assume is like, oh, if you have a 4090, it's impossible to be like if you don't have a 4090, it's impossible to be CPU bottlenecked, and it's like you underestimate how badly like coded even freaking synthetics can be. So yeah, I wonder if the 9950X will finally fix the Firestrike issues. Because that's been annoying me for so long that, like... I mean, 5950X did good in Firestrike, but 7950X compared to 5950X is bad. It's barely faster. Which doesn't make any sense. Like everywhere else, the 7950X, like, absolutely destroys the 5950X. And then in Firestrike, it's like, yeah, it's like 10% faster. It's like, what? It's like 20% faster for Vantage. .1080 Ti, 7970, GTX 680. I want to go as far back as maybe 500 series. 75,000? That seems correct, doesn't it, for the clocks I'm running? Yeah, that does look correct. I think my LOD is not ideal. I think +3 actually worked okay, though, for this. Anyway, I'm gonna go grab more nitrogen. Also on AMD, I like that Vantage is like one of the benchmarks that you run clean, right? Because you can't disable tests for it, and you can't even enable LOD for it. Because it's DX10, and for whatever reason, you can't do LOD for DX10 with AMD, which is weird, but as far as I know, that's the case. So yeah, it seems to be running correctly now. So that was 1720, so we're gonna try... I want to try 1800. Yeah, 1803. We're going to try it with a bit more voltage, because right now I'm at just 1.406. We're going to go to 1.456. Oops. I have a GTX 680 classified. Wait, doesn't Vantage need a UI restart for the system info to work properly? Or is it 3D Mark 11 that has that bug? Oh well. It's just 3D 11? Okay. I'm gonna try to do a better job of keeping the temps under control this time. Because previously we drifted all the way into the minus 70 range. Yeah, the thing is, it's hard to keep the temps under control when the LN2 pot literally doesn't hold load with LN2 in it. I do not understand how the Tech 9 was so popular, other than that it's that it's way cheaper than the Raptor pots. It doesn't hold temperature at all. It keeps going up. I imagine if you ran a 980 Ti flat out on this, it would go up by 10 degrees. It would just not even remotely hold load temperature. It's still going up. This thing is actually worthless as an LN2 pot. We started at minus 80. There's LN2 in the damn container, and it's up at minus 73. And this is why you need actual geometry in your LN2 pod instead of 4 holes. I actually cannot overpower the yeah, I can barely overpower the GPU, which is... Ugh. And then as soon as the load releases, it shoots down, It's, actually just not very good at this. Probably good as a dice pot? No, because it'll do the same thing. Oh, I guess you'll have less of a Leidenfrost problem, yeah. Yeah, I guess dry ice would probably work better with this. Like, the temperature goes up and down more based on what the benchmark is doing than what I'm doing. So, the funny thing is, because of how the e-power is attached, I have to run the power cables on, like, extensions. So we can actually get a current measurement right now. The V-Core VRM is pulling 15 amps. So about 300 watts. So yeah, this thing is not good as an LN2 pot as far as I'm concerned. I really wish I had some I wish I had more, I wish I had a slim GPU pot that's, like, good. Because I'd really like to do some multi-GPU stuff, but... like, having to handle a Tech 9 at the same time as a Raptor is just, like, they're so different. Because the Raptor reacts, like, super quickly. And this doesn't. This actually just doesn't. Well, for a 970, for LN2, it's not that much. Also, that's 300 watts, only the core. The memory is pulling probably another 50-ish. Yeah, this is not a good LN2 pot. I mean, I guess I could try glaze it, like, build up some frost inside it again, but, like, the worst part is, like, if the interior surface was at least not, like, glossy, then the frost would at least stick to it. But it is glossy. It's like a really glossy nickel finish inside, and so you frost it, and then it just washes off. And it's back to being horrible. I guess I could just take some sandpaper and, like, scuff up the inside someday. Yeah, I guess I should have tried that. Because, like, that has been bugging me, is like even if you try to glaze this thing, it just washes right off. Goodness, 6900 XT can run 1.2 air-cooled? Like, yeah, sure, that won't be any issue. Well, at least it seems that the card is running properly, though. Like, it's scoring properly, I think. Not much of an NVIDIA bencher. I don't know my LOD settings. Well, this is a problem. How's my GPU... Wait, is my GPU score lower? Or it is lower. Yeah, this is a problem. Why is my GPU score so much lower? I mean, the CPU score, that's not a mystery. I don't have the E-cores turned on, because if I turn them on, the score goes, like... It, like, really... It doesn't run very well for me when I try to turn them on. But why is my... Like, I am running more memory, more core, and I'm scoring worse. How? Try +3? Okay. I might try lower the memory clock, because maybe there's like a rollover point with it. Also, I need more LN2 again. This thing chugs. Mostly because it idles at like 1.4 volts. So, even just sitting on desktop is expensive. You know, I might try Frost the Pot some more. I bumped the HDMI cable. This hairdryer is kind of... Actually, no, I think it's mostly just the GPU doing it. Because, like, I was actually using the, like, no heat setting. Because I figured, like, hey, save some LN2, but the... Because I bought a new hairdryer, because my other one, the, like, fan motor just, like, died. And yeah, and this new one moves way more air than my old one. And the frost washed off already. You've got to be kidding me. But it is faster for now. What? Run? Oh, so Vantage also has a UI problem. Lovely. Okay, now we're able to actually hold the temperature somewhat. Yay. I smell burning. I don't see burning, so I'm gonna go with that might just be new hairdryer smell. Yeah, the extension cables are a perfectly good temperature, so... Would be able... Yeah, the VRM is off of a GTX 780. If you tried to do this with a regular EVGA GTX 970, it would probably blow up before you get to 1.4 volts. Because those cards regularly blow up in normal operation. Oh, I didn't try setting the V-droop to 0 yet, and I did find that with, like, when I was pre-testing the card on air cooling, that helped scores, so maybe that'll help. Because NVIDIA cards are weird like that. See, the thing is, I find, like, messing with junk cards like this way more fun than nice cards, because there's just not very much to do on a nice GPU. Whereas here, it's like, well, first we need to get the thing to start, because I got it with a dead power stage, with a burnt out MOSFET. I mean, I do kind of care, because the thing is like, doing this was a pain. I don't really want it to die again. But, like, an EVGA, like, 1080 FTWs, 1070 FTWs, those cards, which you can very easily find those with dead V-Core, those are super easy to E-power. So those, yeah, like, those are fun. Fried memory MOSFET? If the memory VRM died, then basically the memory chips are probably also dead, and the core. Like, memory failures are the worst case scenario for GPUs. It's very, very common that if the memory dies, and if the card doesn't have a fuse before the memory VRM, you're basically guaranteed that the memory chips are dead, and that the core is dead. If the card does have a fuse, you have a small chance that the core survived, and that the memory chips survived. But not 100% chance, because, yeah, it really doesn't take much to grenade memory controllers. Actually, I don't think it takes much. It's just that, like, memory has so much less output capacitance that I think the voltage ramps up way faster, especially because the current draw is lower. Right? Because if you think about it, when the MOSFET shorts out, it needs to put, like, enough energy needs to go through the MOSFET, through the inductor, through the core, right? If you have, like, a core, like, it needs to go through the actual load. Some of the energy is going through the load, and the rest of the energy needs to go into raising the voltage on the capacitors, right? So if you have a lot of low resistance load and a lot of capacitance, you need a ton of energy to boost both at the same time. Okay, so this scored even worse than the other two runs. Like, this is great. That's 18, so I guess Hex, I mean, I did downclock the memory, but, like, this is more than I would have thought the memory would do. Unless I'm, like, behind on memory performance, which is not, it's possible. But, like, I got Samsung memory chips. Those are supposed to be the good ones. Oh, he shorted the MOSFET. Oh, core still works. Well, that's good. Wait, the card will crash on 3D load? Then you don't have a shorted MOSFET. If you can turn the card on, unless, like, you replace the MOSFET already. There was a stutter in the space scene. Yeah, I know, but, like, I don't know what to do about it. I'll try lower the memory voltage a bit. Because that was a thing with the GTX 960, is it actually kind of ran better if the memory voltage, like, it didn't scale to, like, infinite memory voltage. I think the frost is washed out again. Yep, I think it's washed out. Lovely. Okay, I think if I run out of LN2 and the doer that we're on right now, I will not switch to the other doer. I will end the session there because this is not going as well as I feel it should be. So, like, at the very, like, I'd like to try do something about the LN2 pot at the very least, because it's really annoying how it just, the temperature control is just non-existent. And for all I need to do for that is to just, like, let it dry off and then scuff up the inside, and I think that'll help. Because, yeah, I don't have power tools to put extra holes into it. I wish I did, but I don't. Is there anything else that I might be worth? Oh, wait, I have texture filtering on quality instead of high performance. I'm not sure how much of a difference that'll make. Oh, and we shouldn't allow negative load bias. Though I don't think that'll make a difference with these settings at this point. Oh, also we should set triple buffering on. Because triple buffering, like, it can smooth, like, it can increase the frame rate, but it, like, increases latency. So you wouldn't actually use that for gaming. But for benching, if it gives more FPS, I don't care if it ruins the visual quality. Or usability of the system. And after the 960, I really got my hopes up that this would be easy. Or, like, at least not... I mean, not as easy, because there's more competition on the 970s, but I didn't think it would be such a mess, where it's like, oh, I can't even get the card to work at minus 60 initially. Right? And I'm not sure why my my efficiency is so bad. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna set the gamer load line on the VRM to 0 before we do another run. You know, I've wondered about the viability of something like boiling chips for LN2 pots. But I don't think that would actually improve the thermal transfer, so I'm not sure. Right? Because, like, you could end up... Well, I guess it would maybe help. Could just throw, like, some, like, nuts or... probably nuts, I think, because the shape is less... Like, if you put O-rings, I think O-rings are too flat, and the screws might be too pointy. Right? But just, like, hex nuts that are, like, M4 or M5, because I have a bunch of those, and I don't use them for anything, so just, like, chuck them in the pot and see if that helps. Yeah, my main thought process was, like, if LN2, like, gets trapped under whatever boiling chips you chuck in there, like, it'll help break up the gas bubbles, is my thought process, right? Because the whole issue with the Leidenfrost effect is that the LN2 doesn't come into contact, because it, like, there's just gas bubbles everywhere. And so my thought process is like, well, if we can just... Because the thing is, if you, like, soak a rag in LN2, right, and you touch it, you're just going to get burned instantly. Whereas if you pour LN2 on your hand, it's fine. So I'm thinking, like, well, I want, like, a rag-like thing up against the LN2 pot. So that the LN2 has something to soak into, and then, like, the thing that it's soaked into transfers the heat. If you had swappable cold plates, that would make the thermal transfer worse. You're just adding an IHS between your, like, LN2 pot and the silicon, and you don't want to do that. IHSs are bad. Well, I have heaps and heaps of DVI port vaults from dead GPUs, so we're gonna chuck some of those in. Hey! Good score! I mean, lower than it should be for the clocks I'm at, but not as much lower as before. Okay, let's see how it reacts now. I don't think that made a difference. Yeah, I don't think that helped. I mean, I guess I can just try higher clocks, or... Yeah, just higher clocks. Because I've not managed to crash the GPU from core clock yet. So, like, maybe, you know, it's like, sure, my efficiency might be trash, but as long as I outclock everyone, that's, like, I could still win. Also, the somewhat higher LOD worked. I think. 2F... Let's try 30. Uh, 18... Like, I just ran 1803. And we're gonna try run 1839 now. I'm scoring, like, way behind where I probably should be. Even though I'm running, like, 2100 mem and, like, 1800 plus core. Well, let's go. We're at minus 83 again, so... Yeah, I don't think the boiling chips idea did anything. I hate this LN2 prompt. Actually, maybe it helped a little bit. No, we're running 1839 right now for core. Like, I think at this rate, I'm going to have to run like 2 gigahertz in Vantage to get the top Vantage score. Also, the voltage regulation is not looking great, looking at the scope, but I'm not I don't have a reference point for, like, what a 980 Ti 970 should look like. Because we have like 130 millivolts of undershoot and, well, basically the same in overshoot. Oh, and I forgot to watch the temps, damn it. Okay, more voltage then. Let's try 1.48. And I'll try it minus 90. Actually, you know what? Screw it. We'll just go straight to 1.5. Oh, wait. No, it is clocking correctly. Okay. Like, the thing is, I don't know if it, like, this card might just be inefficient. Because, like, the 960, my efficiency's not that bad. The 980, my efficiency's also not... It's not amazing, but it's not this bad if I'm on Intel. And then there's this thing, which just scores like trash, except neither of the other two 900 series cards are E-powered, so I don't know, maybe the E-power is causing issues? Or the LN2 pod isn't making, like, good contact or something. Because, like, it is technically touching the capacitors on the E-power, so... But, like, when I was mounting it, it looked like the... Like, if I tighten the mounting hardware, it just bends the PCB at this point, so... Of the card, not even, like, the E-power. So I'm not sure that that's an issue. Did we crash? It does kind of look like it might have crashed on the oscilloscope, because there's nothing happening there. Don't tell me there's another cold bug at minus 90-ish. Keyboard's still responding, system isn't. I'll reset. I think we might switch away from Vantage to Firestrike. It's interesting how different the 960 was from this. The 960 was so easy, and this is just bad. This is just horrible. Okay, well, let's check if there's a cold bug at minus 90 then. Because as far as I know, Maxwell should generally go below minus 100. Not much below minus 100, but it should go a little bit below minus 100. I'm on 375 and that fixed the, like, there was a cold bug at minus 60, 375 fixed that. But I'm still having issues with my scores being way too low for the clocks that I'm running. And it looks like there might be another cold bug at minus 90. Oh. Might be below minus, actually it might be minus 85. You've got to be kidding me. No, I was on 512. I was on 512.95 and now I'm on 375. Because Shaggy's like 2.1 gigahertz Firestrike run is on 375. Man, GTX 970s are rough. Okay, I think this is going to be the end of this, because my efficiency is terrible. Like, I'm outclocking everybody on the Vantage rankings, and my GPU score is worse than the top score. So yeah, my efficiency's terrible. We can't get to minus 100. Yeah, minus 85 I think is too early. I'm kind of thinking I want to try mod the PLL rail. And see if that by any chance does anything. Like, I've heard from other people that it doesn't, but it might vary by GPU. Right? Like, there's some, like, I've heard of, like, some Intel CPUs where it's like, oh yeah, you can run full pot at, like, auto voltages, and then there's others where you have to mess with a bunch of the voltages to get them to work at full pot. So I guess Maxwell might be similar in that, like, some cards don't care about PLL voltage, and then other cards do. Honestly, kind of tempted to just remove the PLL linear regulator and just feed vCore to the PLL. That might be a terrible idea, because stock PLL is like 1. I mean, not PLL PEX. Stock PEX is 1.05. No, I have 8P hyperthreading on. Because 8P, I tried 8P8E and, like, it didn't really work that great for me. Like, I haven't figured out how to get Vantage to run properly on 13th gen or 14th gen. Well, I think that's over. Because, yeah, this thing runs like hot garbage. Try to Evga boost lock. No. But, like, I already had to, like, the NVIDIA high performance setting in the driver already was, like, a necessity to get rid of some of the cold issues. Isn't Kepler, like, you have to run analog output in order for it to work at all below minus, like, 30? Like, as much as I'm struggling with this 970, Kepler on LN2 was so much worse for me. I don't think I ever figured out how to run it below minus 50. Until eventually I tried VGA. "10 series is best. As long as you get lucky, the card will work at, like, at full pop. And then it's just making sure the thermal paste doesn't die on the way there. I don't have a 3070. Man, this is super frustrating. Like, I put all this work into, like, e-powering this card, and then it just runs like garbage. At least I won't have to feel bad when I take the e-power off and put it on a better card. Don't beat my 1070? I mean, it's not really a priority for me to revisit 10 series right now. I want to try the 2080 on LN2, but, like, I also have some 5700 XTs, a bunch of AMD GPUs. Like, I have basically, if it's older than 30 series, I probably have one. Okay, that's not true. Older than 20 series, I probably have one. I also have, like, some low-end AMD GPUs that I'd like to try. Like 7870 and stuff would be really fun, because they clock high even on, like, air cooling, and then... Oh, I also have a 7950 that was absolutely beast on dry ice. And actually, 7950 Crossfire probably wouldn't be that hard to run cold. Nah, the super low-end NVIDIA cards are weird about power limits. They don't have shunts, though. They use that, like, weird, like, power draw estimate thing, and did the card just decide to die at this point, or what? Why is it not putting out an image? Oh yeah, if you're serious about sending a 3070 over to get modded, send me an email to buildzoid@gmail.com and I'll give you a PO box address. Post voltage too high? No, it's at 1.3. Yeah, it's just not outputting an image. That's weird. It doesn't even work with the monitor. We have vCore, we have vMem. Why we no have picture? I don't know if we have PEX, but like... technically the PEX regulator is like right under the LN2 pot, but I don't... It's a linear regulator. I don't think it should be affected. Yeah, the card is actually just, like, not working anymore now. I wonder if the PCIe riser got wet or something. What? No, stay off. Okay, so card no worky. Well, I guess that solves that issue of, like, I'm not sure if I want to continue because, well, I can't continue because it doesn't work anymore. Well, that's annoying. Well, that's it then. Yeah, I'll go figure out something else to run, I guess, because, yeah, this doesn't run. Man, I'm kind of tempted to try some of the 980 Ti's that I have, because, like, I have a ton of 980 Ti's at this point. It's weird, but basically I keep buying broken 980 Ti's, and I've gotten significantly more effective at fixing them or just luckier over time. So I've gone from having a lot of dead 980 Ti's to having a surprising number of working 980 Ti's. And so I'm, like, tempted to try some of the, like, less, like, fancy ones, just to get a feel for how a 980 Ti behaves, because my past experiences with a Titan X Maxwell have been, basically about as pleasant as this. Which is to say, not very. So, yeah, here's the setup. I have a fan that, like, blows onto the back of the board, because the thought process was, like, if this fan, right, which is for cooling the VRM, if this was blowing from this side, it would pull snow off of the LN2 pot into the VRM, and that would be bad. So it's not, like, so it blows air this way, and then it actually, like, that creates an updraft, which is good, because it actually, like, pushes the water vapor away. So, yeah. Man, I hope when I get that, like, I want to try a proper GTX 970 instead of this abomination, because, like, GTX 970s are kind of worth a lot of points, and the 960 was so nice. Like, the 960 I ran on LN2, that was great. Like, it just worked, and then there's this thing, which doesn't, like, at all, and maybe it's the E-Power? I kind of don't think it's the E-Power's fault. It might just be the card. Like, this card did have the V-Core VRM blow up once, so I don't know, maybe the core is kind of trashed already, and this might have finished it off. Yeah, I don't know. 12600, no. I would sooner run a 2700X on LN2 than the 12600 KF again. I also have some other, like, low-end, like, I have a 7870 XT that, like, massively rolls over with core voltage on ambient. So I kind of like to try that on LN2, because that would, like, I mean, I would kind of be cheesing the rankings, because, like, everybody else only ever ran them on water cooling, but, like, I'd like to see if, like, the card that, like, scales, like, absolute garbage on air cooling, because on air cooling I think it doesn't even really do 1200-ish, and then on LN2 it's like I'm wondering, will it, like, how far will it go? Also, if I blow it up, it's a 7870 XT, so it doesn't really matter that much. i3-7350K, unfortunately I don't think I have a single working one right now, and I'm not gonna go buy another one. First gen Ryzen is horrible. Second gen Ryzen is easy. Second gen Ryzen on LN2 is the nicest Ryzen CPUs on LN2, as far as I'm concerned. First gen is a mess. Third gen is a mess. 5,000, like, 1000 series mess, 2000 series good, 3000 series mess, 5000 series mess, 7000 series, I don't know, I've not tried it. You need to revisit 9900K on LN2? Why? Like, the 9900K I have is not great, and I don't exactly have any good boards for it. Also, I don't know why, like, when it comes to CPU benching, like, the only thing I really enjoy is, like, CPU Z validations, because all the benchmarks are freaking boring. And also, the only one I'm good at is, like, Cinebench. And then 3 is fun if you bin for no CBB. Yeah, but that would require binning, which I basically don't do. Yeah, the thing is, my 5950X on LN2, like, basically doesn't work at below minus 150, and FCLK is like 1200 at that point, in order to work at all. So, yeah, fun. Well, anyway, that'll be it for the stream. Yeah, I'll go figure out something else to run, I guess. So, thank you for watching. Thanks for any super chats that I might have missed. And, well, I wonder, like, there's a chance the card might still work once it, like, warms up or dries off. Like, it might just be wet. That is possible. I didn't, like, for this, I didn't insulate, like, the thing is, I didn't insulate the 960, like, super paranoid either, but this is even less so because of how awkward the whole, like, the E-Power's power connectors are pointing straight down, so this thing is just incredibly awkward to run, so the insulation situation is even worse than it was for the 960, so, yeah. Anyway, that's it. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Links in the description if you want to support the channel, and that's it. Goodbye.